Well, welcome to the United Matters channel. Second video of the day in here onto this channel, and Erik ten Hag is going to have to hold what we call a press conference before the game of football that we're going to be playing against Burnley tomorrow at Old Trafford. And we're here to inform you that we are talking Mason Mount, Boost, Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, Anton Martial. Ten Hag is going to have to obviously give us a very huge hint onto that. And there are people that Ten Hag is going to have to ban to ask questions in the press conference of Man United, looking like he's like telling them, I know exactly what you do, and I want to really let you know that I'm in charge. I've gonna obviously have a different narrative, and I don't know whether people are really gonna buy it, but I'm gonna really tell you exactly what my thoughts are about this. Smash like button, close to 200 likes. Sorry, to 200 times. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. It's a good evening in my country, and let's obviously go on and really bring you the latest that you guys have been waiting for in here for you. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum, and welcome back from the mosque, especially those that have been able to make it to the mosques. Now, let's start it off with what Erik ten Hag said first. He confirmed that Mason Mount will return tomorrow to face Burnley. He said, some squad put apart from... same squad, but apart from Mason Mount, he returned into the squad. Now, when you hear that Mason Mount is returning to the squad of Man United, you have to be very excited, because United reached an extent when we are not having substitutes. For example, in that game of Coventry, you saw to it that we are short of substitutes, especially in that midfield. I guarantee you, if you obviously bring on Mason Mount instead of Eriksson, that team really looks better into the midfield, I tell you, because of Mason Mount's running intensity and so on and so forth. And he has been very unlucky at Man United, because ever since he came in through, injuries have gone ahead to turn in as injuries, and they've gone ahead to obviously affect his career. And no player would like to obviously face exactly or go through what Mason Mount is going in through. And I tell you, it's really one of those things that you will obviously have to really not want a player like him to go through. Now, what does it mean if at all he returns? Now, it means that Man United are really going to have an extra man in the midfield, and maybe he'll be putting in a shift. For example, in this game against Burnley, I don't expect him to start, but in our game against Crystal Palace, if at all he puts in a very good shift, I expect him to start into that midfield, provided no central defender returns. I think the manager might trust him to obviously play in that midfield alongside Kobe Mainoo in the mix. But with the injuries I was going to be having throughout the end of the season, towards the end of the season, or ever since I came into the club of Man United, the manager will try to play him sparingly as a player. I think there is something hidden with the injury of Mason Mount, because even last season, he went ahead to find himself really getting injured a lot, right? He found himself getting injured a lot, and I was like, oh my God, what is really wrong with this player that is Mason Mount? But all in all, the manager has confirmed to us that he's really returning back, and returns back at the moment where Bruno Fernandes is banking in goals left, right and center, and you never know what the manager might use him for in the next game. When you look at the positions that Erik ten Hag can obviously try to figure out to play this guy or this dude, you can talk about the right attacking midfield, especially. He can obviously decide to bench Amad Diallo and Anthony and start Mason Mount, especially in the game of Crystal Palace. But in this game against the team of what its name? The team of against the team of Burnley, I think will just come off the bench, most especially when the manager will feel like, I can take off Kobe Mainoo. That is it, to obviously bring him on, or Scott McTominay, one of those two. He might obviously find it great to obviously take him off the field of play to see it that obviously gets him going and running. So that is it coming in through from the side of Mason Mount, and it's a very good injury post for the club of Man United. If you are in a situation in which Man United is, you'll need any player to obviously return immediately, because if you're having very many injured players, it shows you that we can't really have what we call substitutions, and those substitutions really help you to obviously turn around a game and turn around a fixture, or else seal it off and take your points into your bag. That is exactly what is happening at Man United. So for Mason Mount, he has been unlucky with the injuries. He has only gone ahead to score one goal for the club of Man United. I think he has like 2-3 assists in this season. So we wait to see how Mason Mount is going to come in through and really live up to the expectation for the club of Man United. But that isn't the way you wouldn't have liked to make your debut season at a club like Man United that demands a lot, meaning that he needs to find a solution to those injuries. And I think it's all about the physio department. Something is not right. Something is not right with the physio department for the club of Man United, I tell you. If at all there was something right about it, I would have gone to let you know that they would have found themselves in a better position to obviously not having the volumes of injuries that we are really having, because right now we are having close to 9-10 players injured. Malacia, Luke Shaw, Lisandro Martinez, Martial, Lindelof, Varane, Evans, who else? Rashford is injured. So the list is endless. So that is how we think Man United can obviously make it better and better and better and better if these players really come back. But it's good that we are really having all those injuries and you're playing teams like Burnley. You fell in a team like Newcastle right now. I don't see how you really get these points. And that game against Crystal Palace is really going to be tricky because Crystal Palace has just gone ahead to annihilate Newcastle by 2-0 at their home. So we wait and see how that is really going to pan out. Then Then the manager Ten Hag was asked onto the other players, the trio, Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw and Anton Martial. He said, yes, I think we will see them, that is Luke Shaw, Martinez and Martial, all in the season. They all returned onto the pitch. Next week, they have to make the step into the team, training, and they can be available for the last weeks. They progress well. So their progress has gone ahead to obviously has been really confirmed as well. Now we wait to see how long they are gonna take to get back into the starting 11 of Man United. If they train the whole of next week very well, you never know, the manager might see them make the bench when you're playing against Crystal Palace. And I tell you, I would love to see them on the bench when you're playing against Crystal Palace, because it's really going to be a huge game. But all in all, one will say, why not play them for the FA Cup final? I tell you, there is a chance for Man United to obviously coming through to make it to the 5th position. I tell you, Spurs are playing Arsenal on Sunday. If you win tomorrow, will be 4 points behind Tottenham Hotspur. Though would have gone to play one more game than him, but if we're going to hit to see teams having games in hand, obviously choke them and they lose those points. So I cannot come here and really guarantee you that they are going to come out here and really win. That is it. But the fact is, they'll come up and do the needful that is really well called for. So all we have to do is simple. Let's win our games and see pressure pile on Tottenham Hotspur, as they have to play Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea. That is it for the side of Spurs. So that's why I tell you, we need to up our game, put in another gear that will see us getting more and more and more and more results as a side of Man United. I know it sounds really abysmal, but at United, we just need to see these players reacting. With 5 games to go, how are we going to react? You understand? We have Burnley, Crystal Palace, Arsenal, we have Brighton, and there is one other game, Newcastle. So those 5 games, if we can really get 15 points from them, we will be at 50. We will be at 50, because you're having 65 points. You get? So that is it for the club of Man United. And I tell you, a lot has to come with lots of things in here onto this channel. So let's see how things are really going to pan out. But Martial's contract is running down, meaning that he's going to be a free agent. And Man United have gone ahead obviously place him onto that list of players they don't want to obviously gate into the ilk of really giving him a new contract because he's earning a lot of money and he's going to be going out for the free. So he'll come in through. I don't think that he'll obviously put in his best, but having him on the bench will help us a little bit because you obviously get to know that Rasmus Højlund will obviously play like 60, 70 minutes and Martial will come on to take over. But all these players will come back and play, but the most important role ahead of them is the FA Cup, because I've always gone ahead to let you know that if Man United goes into this FA Cup final with almost all its squad available, I tell you, there is no way we aren't gonna stop Man City from lifting this trophy, and we lift it. But if we go with a shaky team, I know they will annihilate us. But if at all, Luke Shaw is back, Lisandro Martinez is back, Anton Martial is back, Mason Mount is back, you know, at least for those, you know that you can line up a very good team. Onana, Shaw, Dalot, Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, or Harry Maguire, then Casemiro, Kobe Mainoo, and Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, Marcus Rashford, and lastly Rasmus Højlund. So we wait and see how that is really going to pan out in the mix, but we all know that it's not going to be an easy way to obviously coming through and do the job. Now Erik ten Hag, this was a breaking story coming in through from the Mail Sport. Erik ten Hag has banned reporters from the Sun, Man United Evening News, and the Mirror from asking questions during his press conference today. So why is he going ahead to ban them? Those three media outlets have gone ahead to champion the rumors that Ten Hag is going to be sacked. Now Ten Hag is like, I want to show you authority that what you're talking is wrong. I'm not going to be sacked, and I tell you this, you're not going to ask any questions. Now do what you do. I've gone ahead like what the manager is doing, because some people really deserve that. They really deserve that, and they have to take that bitter pill that they don't want you to know. Remember, Samuel Lucas, last time we put out a story, was it all about the players of United falling out, I think, with the manager? He was banned from that press conference totally, but now he has found himself in a position of the media house that reports for being banned to ask questions. You can be present, no reason to obviously ask questions. That is Ten Hag for you, and I think he's stamping his authority onto the team. So guys, thank you very much for watching it through. I call upon for your reactions to Mason Mount back for Burnley tie, Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, and Anton Martial back in full team training next week. What do you make about it? And Erik ten Hag banning the media houses that are going to obviously talk lots of things about him leaving. And you might find out that with the intelligence of Man United, they've gotten to know that there are some questions they're going to ask because they want to make headlines. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later, my mates.